Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Like we say on this show, it all depends from where you are watching. Welcome to The Leader, courtesy of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya. And today, we have a very, very interesting topic, and it's all about empowerment, women empowerment, indeed rising to their full potential. And we're so glad that on set, we have two very lovely ladies. That is the chair and vice chair of the Evangelical Women Alliance. That is Reverend Irene Kibagendi and Pastor Emily Maiyani. Karibuni sana.
Asante. Thank you.
Wow, when we met a little earlier, I asked, why was I not given the memo? I almost thought that Valentine's had come. Tell us, what is it that women need in terms of empowerment? Must they be empowered? Are they disempowered?
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, let me thank you for having us today to speak about women. We are passionate about leading women, and we are leading at the national level. That is the Evangelical Women Alliance, and it's a commission of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya. So the essence of this topic is first to tell women that they need to lead themselves. Bishop Emeritus David Oginde taught us that you cannot be a leader if you don't know how to lead yourself. And empowerment of women is essential to a woman, because when a woman is empowered, and they say that the entire community is empowered. And that is what we are looking at. We are looking at helping the woman explore her potential. And how can she be able to make a difference in her own family, at the national level, and then it cascades to every child who is born. We all know that women are very key in caregiving, especially to the newborn and nurturing. So when a woman is empowered, you are expecting a healthy generation. Yes.
Yes, and Pastor Emily.
Yes.
What about you? I mean, in terms of empowerment, is all about opportunities. It's about providing the right environment.
Yes, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And this is also an empowerment.
Yes.
And I thank God for the women naturally, because we have been created as helpers. And sometimes you find yourself in an awkward position. And that is why we talk to women about empowerment. It's not that they are weak, it's not that they cannot do anything, but empowerment is wide. And for me, empowerment, we have different avenues of empowerment: the spiritual, the physical, emotional, so many aspects. And the women being empowered to rise up to their full potential is when they discover who they are. According to the Bible, when the woman was created, Adam saw the woman and said, "This is the bone of my bones and the meat, or rather the flesh of my flesh." And that is a very strong statement that Adam made. And if we come to our realization that a helper makes the real man stronger, then we can rise up to our position. And that is why we speak on empowerment, because sometimes people think the helper is a weaker vessel, yet the helper is a very strong person. You just need to understand yourself, you just need to know who you are, and then you take your position and you will do the extraordinary. So that is why we speak to the women to rise up to their full potential.
And I imagine that in the world that we're in, sometimes women are not given the opportunity by society, by the way it's been conditioned, by the way we just have that set up, as it were. Should we be living in a competitive environment or a complementary one when it comes to matters of empowerment?
My take is that we are not competing. especially with our counterpart brothers. Women should be given their space to thrive in the spaces that God has given them. And they should act as complements or, to men. What women, okay, there is that narrative, they say that what men can do, women can do better. I don't really, I don't go by that statement. Because what a woman does is different from what men do. And if I look at the family setup, for example, what the responsibilities of a man are very different from the responsibilities of a woman. So it would be very bad to think that we are competing. When I'm taking care of children and their father is taking his own other responsibility, it means that I will do it to my best on my part, and then I leave him to do the other at his best. And even in the work environment, maybe that is where competition would come, because everyone wants to rise in terms of positions and what the workplace avails. So that is where competition may come. And I feel it is healthy competition. It's not really
antagonistic.
It is not antagonistic competition, but women should be given their space to exploit their potential. And I believe women do much. One, they say that women's concentration level is very high, and women can be able to do so many tasks at the same time. That is as opposed to men.
Yes.
So if you can just be able to just tap the potential of women, I believe we can make a better society. And I wouldn't really say that we are not given that opportunity, but there is a narrative that women should not do this. Women should be at home taking care of children. And that is how the world was earlier. That is how a woman was introduced into this world. Her position is kitchen, not even just house. Her position is kitchen, which is good because we cannot separate ourselves from the house chores and whatever happens in the house. But when we come out here, we need to be given our space. And I believe women perform even better when they're given an opportunity.
Let me be a little cheeky here, Pastor Emily.
Yes.
Is it about being given or taking?
I would say
if you're waiting to be given,
yes,
you might keep waiting and keep waiting and still keep waiting.
Yes, I would say it's both ways. You can be given sometimes, and sometimes you can take it. And taking it does not mean that you fight for it. You can take it in many ways. For example, I just said that we are created as helpers. And the role of a mother at home, we just take that position by virtue of doing the nurturing of your children to the best way possible. So automatically you take the space. And if the dad is not there, the dad is busy, the dad is doing other things that maybe he's not responsible in the family, you automatically take the space because you just do what you're supposed to do. And for me, I believe that women don't need to fight for space. That is what I believe. We just need to take our role as a helper. In ministry, in business, in doing everything. I like giving a good example. The mama mboga who sells mboga. You come in as a man there and you say, nataka skuma ya 20 bob. Alafu yu mama anakuuliza, nikukatakatie? And you say, yes. Why does she ask this? Because she's a helper. And she's doing it for free. She does not charge you kukatakatia mboga, but she does it for free.
And that is value addition.
Yes.
We could get into now.
Because she's just doing her role.
Yes.
And tomorrow you will tell another man, twende kwa mama fulani, because akikuuzia mboga anafanya nini? Anakatakata. So she has just taken her position. She has not fought to be there. She has not fought to make her income, but she has just done what she knows best and what she's supposed to do. So for me, I say that we are not competing, but we are complementing each other. When my husband comes home, he brings the meat. So what do? I take the meat and cook. I'm just a helper. So he eats that food, he gets stronger, he gets masculine, and he goes out there and men compliment him and say, bravo, man, you're doing good. But behind the scenes, it's me who did it. So there are some things that, and some positions that we just take by being natural. Just being natural, just doing what you need to do best. That's why when we go to church, the women do the beauty in the church, and they're not told by pastor, atiwekeni vitamba, they just say, we need to do it. That's our position. Then the pastor is there elevating the women to become pastors and to become senior pastors and do all these things. So I just believe in taking our position as helpers and doing what God has created us to do. Thank you.
Let's get into financial literacy. Because you can be everything, but in the world where we're in today, even the potential that you have, if you lack the financial literacy, and I know this is a topic that is really close to your heart, how do we go about it? Where do we start? When does it start? And by who? And maybe you've got an example or two, maybe even your own journey or examples of what you've seen in terms of testimony. Financial literacy for women.
On financial literacy, we are talking about personal financial management. And as we talk about leadership, especially for women, you cannot take leadership positions if you are not financially independent. And for me, financial independence begins from what do I do with the resources that I have. You earn resources from different engagements. You could be employed in formal employment. You could be in business. And the reason this topic is very close to my heart is because of my engagement, my daily engagement at my workplace. I work in the environment of the cooperative movement, where we teach people to save. And you save the little that you have. You start it as a culture. And consistency is the key word. That every income that comes on your way, after consuming what is supposed to be for the daily upkeep, you have something to save. That small thing that you save on a monthly basis, it could be on weekly basis, it could be on daily basis, depending on how your income flows in. That is what will give you financial freedom. And it's a journey, it's a process. It's not an event. Some people think that for you to be called wealthy or rich, it's overnight. And that is something that we really need to preempt from our mind, because it's a journey and it starts when you are early. You don't start saving when you are 50. Okay, it's always good to start from where you get the knowledge, but if you could start early,
the better.
The better, so that it becomes a journey. Then you are saving not a lot of money, but just the little that you are able to save. You must adopt that culture. Then the other question you should be asking yourself is, where are you saving? Which is this investment vehicle or outfit that you are planning or you have planned to put your savings? Because we all know, especially in Kenya, we've had people who who present themselves as good investment vehicles, and then they come down or they crumble down. So you're asking yourself where, and that is why the cooperative movement was introduced by the government. And so you are looking at SACCOs. This cooperative, I believe it's not very new to people. You look for a reputable SACCO, a SACCO that has the products that you'd wish to have. And products, I mean, when you start saving, there are also credit facilities. That's why it's called a SACCO, savings and credit. Then you are able to know what are these products that are offered by this particular SACCO that I would want to, or I would choose to be my investment vehicle. And then, as I'm saying, it's a journey. You will save to a certain point, then you are able to borrow. By the time you're getting to that level of borrowing, you have already done your financial planning. You cannot be financially free if you don't have plans for your finances and for your life. You must have goals. What do I want to achieve? If I want to own a retirement home when I'm 50 years or when I'm 60 years, I should have started planning when I was 20. You know, sometimes young people think that it's 60 years old people are very old. They don't know that they are getting there. And actually it is sooner than, yeah, so you start planning, what do I want to have when I'm 60? And we always pray that God gives you good health and you will be alive, so start planning. And then, if I want that home, how much will it cost me? So how much money should I start saving when I'm 20 or 25 to enable me achieve that particular goal? You must have short-term goals, long-term goals, and then you are supposed to finance your goals depending on the income that you have. So, so what I'm trying to say is that we have to have that knowledge of this is what I'm supposed to start with, this is the way I should start saving, and then these are the goals I should have on my table, and this is the implementation plan. And then another thing, so that I don't forget, when you are choosing an investment vehicle in terms of a SACCO, for example, you have to think guarantorship. If you go to these big financial institutions like the banks and all that, and you need credit, most of the time they will ask for collateral. And at that age I'm talking about, when you are young, you may not have any collateral to give as security. But in the SACCO setup, you need other people's savings to guarantee your loans. So that is how you need to get into SACCOs, with, especially if you could have a team of people, so that you will be, at least you can be able to be guaranteeing yourselves, and you will grow to acquire those assets that eventually can be used as collateral. But it is the best, I would say, for an ordinary low Kenyan, that would be the place to begin. And then when you start that journey of saving, you realize that when you start credits, you start taking loans, you start developing yourselves, at some point, even if you had not gone to school, you can be able to go back to school based on the products that are being offered by the SACCO. If you join a SACCO, within 6 months, you should be able to access credit to even take you back to school. And for me, that is what I did. Yes.
Yes. And from where you sit, that model where one, like the late Professor Wangari Maathai said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Yes.
But the next best time is now.
Yeah.
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 So in matters of coming together, realization that you're going to get that financial independence through financial literacy. The SACCO space is good because then you're able to, with your whatever small amount that you have or whatever level you are at, and it's across the society, you're able to also pull together resources and you have something in common. And speak to me about that credit worthiness when you build your credit profile. We're able to borrow a little and pay back, you borrow a little and pay back, and you borrow more and pay. What is the importance of that in terms of, what does it say about you as a person?
Thank you very much. From the place I come from, rather the church that I serve with, that is Free Pentecostal Fellowship, sometimes back and even now, we introduced a program for the women called Tuinuane. Actually, Safaricom should pay us that name.
Yes.
So when we introduced Tuinuane, it's because most of the women were down financially. So whatever you have, you bring, and then we started up the table banking thing. Then we grew up from there. We made circles within us. So these circles within us have been able to help us. And the table banking system for the natural woman back at home, apart from the corporate world, is what can really help them to grow their credit accessibility. And for you also to find credit and get credit, you have to be a faithful person, you have to be very disciplined, and you must have an objective. because you save whatever you have. And whatever you have, and I bring whatever I have, we put together and we borrow. Then when I borrow, I should be able to pay back with an interest. But I cannot do this if I am doing nothing at home. I tell women at home, I come from the background of Kajiado County, the interior actually. And I tell them, let's do business. I call them, the ones who do small business, and I call them, and I actually did sometimes back adult learning. And I told them that you need to know to count 1 to 10. You know, if you know to count 1 to 10, then 20 and 30 will not be a problem. So we taught them the basics. And getting the M-Pesa message, you know what is your balance. You know, sometimes you go to an M-Pesa shop and you tell the guy, check for me my balance, please withdraw this amount, and he withdraws the excess. Because you don't know how to check your balance. So we actually did the basics of teaching in our churches, adult learning, just the basics of knowing to write the number, to write your name, to add and to subtract. Then now we introduce them to small businesses. When it rains, currently we are having drought. When it rains, you know, as I said, we are helpers. The man takes the cow, so the cow belongs to the man. And the milk, because it's a small product, belongs to the woman. So we are given the milk. When we milk, we sell. When we sell, we take some amount of money now to the table banking, where we save. Then we can borrow from there day by day. So when you find these women innocently and asking them, what is your profit in business? They say, me, I don't make profit. Provided I have sold ugali if I'm running a hotel. I bought a packet of ugali at 200 and I sold, and in the evening I have my 200. Then you tell them, no, it does not go like that. You must make profit. So they get interested. Oh, this is how it's done. So they get to grow day by day. Then they go and take this loan. They pay back. That tells you now they are faithful. Their business grows. It tells you now they have achieved their objective. And then they also build their networks. When they build their networks, they now can grow to other cooperative societies and reach now to the corporate world. But they must start there. And I usually tell them, if you know you're not faithful to yourself or disciplined, you can sell paraffin. And you make sure you get money in form of coins. You don't get the 50 bob note, but you get the coins. And you know, if the coin, the 10 bob coin, you drop it in the 5-liter paraffin container, it will not get rusted, it will not disappear, it will remain there. So when you finish selling your paraffin, you will pour all the coins and you have your money. And that one will discipline you. You will not have taken off your capital, you still have your profit with you, then you go restock and you can do something else. So we start from down there, but the woman must have something. We actually say the women should make a difference from wherever they are, in the society, in their homes, in the church, in the school, everywhere a woman is. It is an assignment of making a difference that you have to fulfill. Yeah, so I think for borrowing, you must really have something you're doing, you must be very disciplined, you must have an objective, and you must be faithful to your savings. Then you can achieve your retirement house. You can do a swimming pool and swim at 80 if you want, but that will bring life even to your children, and you'll be able to leave a legacy that you will leave an inheritance for your children. Thank you.
Yes.
Can I also mention
Yes,
something about ensuring that you are repaying your loans? When you get or when you receive credit, you have not received this cash to consume. Consumption means food, rent, you know, all these basic needs that we have. Before you borrow, you already have an idea of what you're going to do with this money. Maybe you are going to start a business, and as my sister says, so you are borrowing to do something that you did not have done with your resources, the resources that you had. Then discipline is a key word. Don't even let people remind you that you are supposed to pay. Ensure that you are paying back so that you can borrow or you can access bigger amounts of money than you initially borrowed. Because we said it's a journey, and you start somewhere. You start with little, you pay, you borrow more, because as you are paying for the loan, you are also saving. You are increasing your savings. So it's a journey that is making you grow from every day you are growing. Then avoid spending on things that are not very necessary or essential. Especially as women, sometimes we have something we call impulse spending. You see something good, you want to buy. You know, you don't, sometimes you have so much in your wardrobe in terms of clothes, and when you see a good one, you want to buy. That discipline must be there, that you just have to keep a blind eye on everything that passes you, so that by the time I know I need a shoe, I know I really need that shoe. So impulse buying, then we don't need to live beyond our means.
Mm-hmm.
You start consuming what you have not earned. Especially, an example I would give you, if you have a shop that gives you credit, and every time you need something, you go to that shop, you start actually consuming what you don't have. So by the time you are receiving money, the first thing you do, you pay the debts, and that is just consumption. It's like you are on paycheck, but by the time you are receiving your salary, you have already spent that money.
Before it even comes.
Before it even comes. That it means you are living beyond your means. And in such case, it will be very difficult for you to have anything extra to save. So you need to reorganize yourself or organize yourself, have a budget depending on the income that you anticipate, and then you are able to allocate finances on your daily expenditures. Then you are able, in your budget, you have the saving down there. Then as you build your savings, then you are planning, when I get to this level, I can be able to borrow this much to do such kind of a thing. And then you have to be very careful that those guarantors I talked about, that you will never ever give them the burden to pay for you. So what is very key is to ensure that you are disciplined and you have a plan on the table, and then you are not living beyond your means, and then you are not getting so many debts because they are available. There is Fuliza there, I have a loan there. There is Empower, I don't know what they are called, all those all those loans.
Yeah.
Faulu is giving loans, I qualify. Then every time you hear there is a credit facility, you are running for it. So you'll be too indebted, and that will also not give you a peace of mind.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because then, if you are someone who is a woman and you're in the business of making chocolates,
yes,
they may not like what you're saying, because those are the temptations that come in the supermarket at the end, and you need people to buy them. But having said that,
yeah,
just being able to discern
yeah,
what you have as income and have a plan that is authentic, yes, that is guiding you.
yes,
And just the whole process of you anticipate some income in what you have done, for example, hypothetically speaking.
yes,
And you have a certain target in terms of what you'd want to save. Do you set it aside first, or do you engage in executing, and then what remains, that's what you start looking at, what did you save? You might never have anything to save.
yeah, if you take that direction, you will never have anything to save. Saving should be like what we are normally told in church, that you have to determine before you come, determine your offering.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Before you come to church.
Yes.
Don't decide on the floor
No.
that now it's time for offering, how much am I going to give? Decide before you come to church. So that is exactly the same as saving. Just let it just be in your plan that, for example, let me say that in SACCOs, we normally have a minimum balance, minimum contribution for the month. There are those ones that will be 1,000, the others will be 2,000, the others will be 10% of your salary. So, but you don't have to wait until you are given a minimum to save. set a minimum for yourself, because they don't set the maximum. Let your minimum be your own minimum that you have set, depending on your income. Take initiative, yes. Then I forgot to talk about, when I'm talking about impulsive spending, I forgot to talk about the amount of money we spend on our phone.
Yes.
And if there is young people listening to me, that is what I like reminding them.
Yeah.
That we don't lack money for talking on phone. And sometimes we can spend a lot of money, and what you are doing on that phone is not something that is beneficial. If you look at the amount of money you spend every day on phone, then you make that your saving. Yeah, you translate that into saving. This 100 I spend every day on phone, I'll be spending maybe less and save, even if it's 50 bob per day. At the end of the month, you find, and let me just work with 100. If you save every day 100 shillings, it means at the end of the month you'll have saved 3,000. And that is good savings every day. If you just do the math, how much will I have saved in a year? 3,000 times 12. Yeah?
Yes.
So that is 6,000. Then start, just do the math. Start doing that when you are 20. How much will you be having when you are 30? So if you do those mathematics, you realize actually you have the money, you have the resources. But if you didn't save anything, then by the time you are that age I'm talking about, you'll still be having nothing. So what is important is to know, as much as the chocolates are being sold, do I need? Or maybe if I want, they normally say, kujipatia mwili pole. If you take like a circle to be your investment vehicle, and we talked about the reputation of the circle, the products they offer, in most cases, they will have dividends at the end of the year. And your savings will earn something. So if you want to take the chocolates and everything, you can use the dividends.
And you can use that as a milestone at the end of that journey, that process, to encourage you to say,
yes,
I've come this far,
I've
now
come
let me
this
go to
far.
the next.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, what happens when we have people who would mislead those who are not financially literate in terms of investment? You have saved on that table banking. You've got your coins under your mattress. Take it to the financial, take it to where it is secure. But you have an investment, and then you get misled into business opportunities and ventures. We all have had our seasons of quail eggs and all manner of things, How do we ensure that we don't fall prey to such con men and con women, con people? What are the telltale signs? When it's too good and someone says, put it 1 shilling and get a million. But the temptation of saving and spending on pata potea,
I would say maybe one thing is, why did you save? What was your objective? If you know your objective, then you will try your level best. Even if utajipatia pole, but you will try to start a step of your objective, achieving your objective. Another thing you need to is to remain focused. When you're focused, it doesn't matter who comes to remove you where you are. Just remain focused. Have a principle that this is my target. This is what I want to achieve. And you are setting your target knowing that there are other voices that can come. And there are people who can come and mislead you, but just remain focused. Just remain focused and have your target. Then start small. As my sister said, start small. Don't start big. And that is actually the difference between men and women.
Yes.
Men start on elephants, and us, we start in the small ants. So we tend to grow, and men grow a little bit and then they crumble down. Why? Because they like starting up. If a man wants to build a home, They will sit down and say, I have to save at least $1 million plus and start off. But a woman will say, I just need 1 lorry. If I save 40,000, I have 1 lorry. So I will buy the stones and they will not expire. So she will do away with that. But the man, as he's waiting for the millions, his car will break down and he will be there looking for another car. And then he diverts.
Yeah.
So for the women, it's good, and for the men too, and also for the youth who are listening, it's good to remain focused. What is your objective? What is your purpose? Remember, we are talking about living your full potential. You must start somewhere. Accept where you are. Don't be carried away by other people who are dressing on very expensive suits worth 30,000, and you, where you are worth 4,000. Just be yourself.
Be authentic.
Be authentic.
Yes.
Be genuine to yourself and speak to yourself and tell yourself, hi, Emily, this is my level. Don't be carried away to Irene's level. Just remain to your level and do what you need to do. And that way, you will not be swayed away by conmen. You will not be carried away by the events. You will have a target and you will not regret your savings.
I know my director is telling me you have less than a minute, but they're very quickly, 2 very quick things, because I know these are upcoming. You've got a conference, I believe, early next month. What is it about? Who is able to attend? Why must they attend? What can they expect? And possibly then in winding, where you'll have like about 10, 15 seconds, is the whole aspect of the importance of trees and the women of Kenya coming together in planting trees. And yes, the planning has begun and being mobilized. So we can just start with you very quickly.
Yeah, so I would like to mention to the women that we as the Evangelical Women Alliance, we are planning for a tree planting event. That would involve all the women in the Republic of Kenya. We are trying to mobilize the women in the counties and also partners who can be able to partner with us and make this event a success. So that is what we are in the business of doing, planting for a tree planting event, especially when the rains start coming. The other one is a conference that has been planned by CITAM for women entrepreneurs that will take place on 4th of March at CITAM Karen. There is a cost attached to it, 300 shillings, but just for facilitation purposes. And all the women, especially those women who feel they want to do something in terms of business. And you can always have a business even when you have a formal employment. So that is women in business. It will happen in CITAM Karen. It is being organized by CITAM Women Ministry. I'm also a part of the women ministry in CITAM. So it will be at Karen on 4th from 7:30 to 2 p.m. And the facilitators are great women of God, and our own bishop will be facilitating too. And I know even Absa Bank will be there. So they want to see how they can be able to encourage women to be in the entrepreneurship world. So those are the 2 events that we are planning. Maybe she can also talk something about the tree planting.
In fact, on the tree planting,
yes,
since I know trees need water, I suggest let's take that glass of water.
Yes.
And after the break,
yes,
tell us about trees.
Okay.
And the difference between planting trees and growing trees.
Yes.
Asante. We can take that glass of water.
The Kenyatta University Christian Union Alumni Fellowship, in partnership with Hope Media, invites you to an Alumni Sunday service on 12th of February 2023 at the Kenyatta University Amphitheatre from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The theme of the service is Rebuilding the Walls, drawn from Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 17, and the minister of the word will be the Bishop of the Christ is the Answer Ministries, Reverend Callisto Odede. This event will be broadcast live on Hope TV from 11 a.m. All are welcome.
Welcome back. Just before the break, Pastor Emily, you're about to get us into the tree planting. And I asked a question, the difference between planting a tree and growing a tree, because you must naturally take care of it. Why is it important?
Thank you. Planting a tree is putting it down in the soil. Growing a tree is nurturing it, as you say, and walking the journey with that tree, ensuring that it doesn't dry up. Yes, we have currently water challenges, but there is a little water that you wash your dishes with, and the water that you pour after washing your clothes. That one can also be helpful. So as we plan and mobilize women to plant the trees, of which we are yet to do and confirm the dates and everything, we ask the women to have this burden, that we may plant trees to secure our country from drought, and also to pray that God gives us rain and the trees will grow. In your home, you start at your home where you are. Start planting whatever you have. Start ensuring that you have a tree. In your church, plant a tree. And sometimes back, though we are yet to consult the forestry, I think it's called Ministry of Environment.
Yes.
We are yet to consult them. They used to give trees for free. And if we get these trees, it will be very easy to plant them, but to make sure that they don't dry. Let's try our best. It's a challenge. Let's take the challenge. Let's move forward. And when the tree grows, it becomes a blessing and you're happy to see it. And that will be a target that we are targeting to improve the number of trees and to see how much we can do when we are growing trees together. So that is what we need to do, and we actually need to grow the trees.
And trees, there's a whole range. You've got indigenous, you've got fruit trees, you've got, you know.
Yes.
Trees can also help you in the income in terms of the business.
Even the fruits.
The
Yes.
fruits.
Yeah.
In terms of even contributing to food security.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interestingly, I happened to visit a country recently where they eat fruits that in my village we really don't take care of them so much. They just grow in the bush. And these fruits are called ir. That's what we call it in my vernacular. But when you go outside, they call it the yellow berries. And you're honored, you're given the fruits, and you eat, and they're very expensive. But in my home, people just grow them and they don't even care. I remember when we had COVID-19, Cambridge did the research, and they found a fruit which grows in our bush, and we don't even take care of it, and they took it. So trees are trees. It doesn't matter whether it's a fruit tree, an indigenous tree, or any other tree, but let's just plant a tree. A tree will be helpful at some time, even giving you shade, beautifying your home.
Yeah.
Simple thing like that. Trees are just beautiful, and it's good to have trees. Let's plant as many as we can. And when they dry up, plant again. They dry up, you plant again, because sometimes it's beyond us. It becomes too harsh, like now the sun is too hot, so they might end up drying. But when it rains, we are on again. We plant more and plant until we are where we shall be.
Yeah.
So let's preserve our nature and let's add more to it.
Yeah.
And yes.
So I just want to mention just what my sister is saying, that this year we would want to encourage women wherever we are. And what I came to learn is that when we are given something, people they don't attach so much value on things they are given. So even if it means you buy that tree, trees are not expensive, especially when they are at that.
Seedlings.
Yeah, the seedlings. Just 10 shillings, you'll get a tree, and what you have bought, most likely you take value, and you're able to take care of it. And it doesn't matter where it is, but just plant. And if all the women in the country took it as an initiative that we want to preserve our environment, we are told that trees also filter the air that we breathe. And women being caregivers, that should give us the motivation even to do more of our preservation of the environment, securing our soil, to avoid soil erosion. So we are urging women, wherever we are, ensure that you are planting trees. You are planting trees in your home, in your village. You know, we have homes in our villages. Let's plant trees there. Let's plant fruit trees. And I believe if we started it now, you said what Wangari Maathai said.
Yes.
And you know, this is the time we remember Wangari Maathai. She actually had a passion for the trees, and she had a dream to die for. And that is what we need to take up. We should have planted 20 years ago, but now that we didn't plant,
This is the next best time.
This is the
Do it.
best time. And that is what we want to start mobilizing women to doing for our nation. EWA, Evangelical Women Alliance, we look at the inward of the EWA, that is women empowerment, and the outward. The outward is ensuring that we are advocating for women, and at the same time, what are these activities that we can be able to do together as women that will have a positive effect to the nation. So that is one of the things that we want to embark this year. We are waiting just for the rains, and then we start socializing, asking the women to look for trees, and if there are partners that would come on board. I know the government is also thinking about tree planting. If we could all partner together, we can be able to be effective in terms of tree planting.
What happens when empowerment is effective to break the cycle of poverty in terms of the benefit to the community and the family, as it were?
The only way you can eradicate poverty is by receiving education, and then be a doer of what you have learned. And you can be able to tell from the communities where education is suppressed. You realize those areas are very poor. Today we are learning even about agriculture, for example, and agriculture has become a very, very lucrative business.
Yes.
But the people who are doing agriculture now and are successful are people who are able to go to the technology, and they learn. And so, YouTube is a whole industry where you can be able to receive information. And I would want to urge people, as much as we are talking to women, we can, this information is good even for the men. We capacity build ourselves, especially the line that you want to take. If you want to take agriculture as your business, don't just go to the, what we used to do. Look at where are we at? Where is technology? Can I be able to get more information before I embark? So that by the time you are taking that as your main agenda, you are going there with confidence, you are going there with knowledge, and you are able to do much more than what you'd have done if you didn't have education. So we are talking about poverty eradication. For women to be financially stable, and for them to eradicate poverty, because women are actually the ones who are normally affected. My sister can tell you, when Masai land, when there is drought, women are the ones who suffer. Men normally take their cows to those places they call, the oasis to get food. But women are left at home. When you look at the compound out there, you wonder what they are eating. Especially when there is drought like now, you wonder, where are these women getting food? Where are they getting water? So you can imagine these women are empowered. They're able to plant trees. They're able to take advantage of the rainfall that comes, harvesting water and all that. I believe the cycle of poverty will be broken down. It will be actually dealt with. Yeah.
And when it comes to then, what kind of dreams should women have in terms of, are they limited? Incidentally, it is a lady, our very own Lupito, who said, dreams are valid.
Yes.
Should there be a limitation in dreams? Because then that is the potential. And when you say you are rising to your potential, what is that potential? What are some of these dreams?
I would maybe say that women are destined for greatness. That is where we are. And we are not coming lower than greatness. That is our faith. And that is what motivates us. And as she said, dreams are valid. It is true, dreams are valid. Looking at the news just the other day of the man who was 63 years going back to school,
Yes.
dreams are valid. It only depends on how you hold your dream. You had a dream to become maybe a doctor, but somehow, somewhere, you didn't manage to achieve the grades that you wanted to be. But you have your children. Pay for them school fees. Encourage them to go to school. Hold on to your dream. And one day, one time, you will find a doctor in your family. So dreams are valid. You just need to be strong. You need to pick your broken pieces. Accept, yes, I am at the poverty level, but I can still come out of this. You never say die. And it is not yet over until God is over with you. So as long as you're alive, you need to work hard. You need to do what you're supposed to do. And as Irene said, that you have to be educated. It does not mean that you need to go to school. You learn from your environment, learn from the others. In every community and every society right now, we have women and girls who have gone to school, even if they dropped out. But we have somebody who has gone to school, somebody who is doing something different. Learn from them. Don't say, I will not do anything because I never went to school. No, learn from them. I also appreciate that the tertiary colleges are now up and rolling. We can do salon, we can do beauty, we can do tailoring. And actually, a tailor makes more money than a white-collared job person.
They have cash flow.
Yes.
Daily basis.
Because in my home where I come from, we like making beautiful shukas and for every occasion. So we have a Christmas. As a family, we want to put maroon color. So where do we go? We go to the tailor. And the tailor gets good money. So let's accept where we are. Let's accept to make the difference. Let's pick our broken pieces. Let's know that we are capable. Build your self-esteem first. Get moral empowerment. Get your emotions empowered. Get spiritual empowerment by prayer and go to fellowships, go to meetings, learn and achieve your objective by being positive. Always remain positive. Always know that it is possible. Even if you're crying today, the Bible says that tears may only endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. When it is almost morning, that is when it is very dark. So when you're almost achieving your dream, that is when things become very hard. But hold on, my sister, because you will make it. If we are here, we made it. We have a story. We didn't just come to where we are. We have a background story. So hold on, and you can make it. Yeah.
Let me just add on the issue of dreams. I urge people not to keep sharing their dreams with people. It's very easy to meet with dream killers. For example, if I'm dreaming about farming and I meet somebody who failed in the same, they would just tell you the negative part of that particular dream that you have. That cannot work. And you see, I'm reminded about Joseph. He had a valid dream, but he shared it too prematurely. And I don't know what to say to the wrong people.
It was actually to the right people who got
It was to the right
envious.
people.
Yes.
But they did not buy in to the dream. So if you have a dream and you want to do something and you project, sit down and have the strategic plan. Just do the strategic plan for yourself. Do your own SWOT analysis. You know, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities? And as she says, there are so many opportunities out there. What time frame do I have? Let me do all my math, all my calculations. Where will I get the finances? By the time I'm sharing my dream, one, I have the right people to share with. Not everybody. It could still be your siblings. It could still be a friend. We are in the church setup and God gives us families. God can give you somebody to share with. ensure you are sharing your vision with people who can encourage you. Especially as women, we have very many discouragers, and you can really be distracted. Today you can have a very good vision, and then tomorrow, just based on the person you met, the following day, the vision is gone. It's dead. And if that is you, you keep on having visions and they are dead, they die, then you dream again and again, you might never move. It's better to take all the factors that are important, take them into consideration. By the time you are sharing, you're actually sharing at a very advanced stage, and you know what you want to do. In case you did that and failed, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. I keep on telling young people, especially the young ones,
the lessons learned.
You have learned your lessons and you still have time to make up. God will always give you time to make up. Don't give up. Press on until you get there. In fact, they say you have not failed more than 7 times. Even if the 8th time is the one that will succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let it be, but don't give up. And again, as my sister says, God has brought us into his house for encouragement. As much as we are thinking about being empowered in terms of finances, the real empowerment is from within.
From within.
The confidence that God has given me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, despite every other thing that people tell me. I can go back to school if I don't have the papers. I can go back to school and I know that I can make it. Even if people think I'm old or I'm of age, I will still go, and I know God has given me a sober mind, and I can make just determination. Be decisive. Sometimes we take so much time around what do I want to do. Don't take long there. Decamp, move, and do something. Ensure that every day you are doing something with your hands, and whatever you are doing can be translated into money. And then what am I going to do with this money? You are not all overspending. You are doing something with this money. And you realize as time goes by, as long as you have fixed your eyes on where you want to go and your target, and don't allow your eyes to go all over, then you will be able to make it. Yes.
Maybe just one point.
Yes.
You need to know your company.
Right, yes.
For you to achieve your dream, you need to know your company. Are they helping you towards the dream?
Or
Yes, you have not shared, but where are they driving you to? So you need to know your company. You also need to know that you need to take a step. The Bible says, arise and shine. You just don't shine. You have to arise. You have to take a step towards your dream and make sure that you have a goal, as we have kept saying. You have a target, and you should remain focused. So know who your friends are. Know what is your company. Know where you are. Are you on the right track to achieve your dream? So dreams are valid and they're achievable. Yeah.
Because you find that there are those who can hang around you, but they're really picking from what it is that you have, and then they hold you back and they go and implement, and it starts looking very familiar, like as if it was your dream, it was yours. And the more depressed you are, the more they seem to be succeeding.
Yes. So it happens. And sometimes back I opened a business.
Yes.
And when I opened the business, I happened to be alone within that area. And I thought, I have achieved. So little did I know somebody is planning to open the same business just next door. And when they opened, I felt discouraged. But I went back and my husband told me, if you see people doing what you're doing, then you are a leader. So you don't give up, you continue. That's where I learned that you will always have things to distract you, but remain focused and you will achieve your target. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Parting shots, yes, for you.
Okay, especially for the young people, I would want to tell them, don't be idle. There is so much to do out there, so many opportunities. Don't just be there on your phone. Okay, I know nowadays business is also on the phone, but there is so much.
Let's be productive, like you say.
Just be productive, yes. Do something that will earn you an income. especially if you have finished school. Don't just wait for the white-collar job. Even if it means, like, if you could go out there and even wash somebody's car,
yes,
and get the 200 shillings, but do something to empower you. And then whatever you get, save a little. Use something and save something, and start your journey of financial freedom.
Parting shot for you.
Thank you. I would like to say, be positive, accept where you are, pick your broken pieces, and accept to move on. Doesn't matter what people say about you, but have a positive mentality. Remain focused, and you will be there. Thank you.
And we'll be there next week, same time, because if you're there, we'll be here. That has been the leader, courtesy of the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, Evangelical Alliance of Kenya. And thank you so much for your insights and sharing. It's all about complementing each other, not competing. And indeed, all dreams are valid. And if we work, we can realize our potential for a better society. My name is Edmund Mudibo. See you same time next week. God bless.